everyone, I'm Miss Sarah, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about a couple of books that all have to do with things coming back to haunt you. Sometimes that's very literal, sometimes less so. First up, we have Ghost Boys by Jewel Parker Rhodes. All children, except one, grow up. When 12-year-old Jerome Rogers first hears these words, it's because he's reading Sarah Moore's book. Peter Pan, it's called. Jerome frowns when he reads it. What happened, he asks. Did he die? No, Sarah says, her face reddening. He doesn't die. He stays a kid. He wants to stay a kid. Jerome can't understand that. Not at all. You see, he's always wanted to be grown up, so no one could bully him around anymore. So cashiers would stop thinking that he was trying to steal stuff in their stores. He had plans. He was going to be a famous basketball player. Jerome never wanted to be a kid forever. Unfortunately for him, that's just what happened when a police officer saw him playing with a toy gun in the park. It wasn't even his toy gun. Jerome died that day. He died, and he found himself looking down at his own dead body, with his mother screaming and crying over it. Now Jerome is a ghost, and he's not alone. Not too long after his death, he meets Emmett Till, a 14-year-old black boy who was murdered in the 1950s. Emmett mentors Jerome, sort of shows him how this whole thing works, and introduces him to other ghost boys like them. Death, it turns out, is a lot weirder and more complicated than Jerome ever could have imagined. But the weirdest part about this whole thing? Sarah, you know, the girl whose book he's reading? She's the only living person that he's met who can actually see him. She's also the daughter of the white policeman who killed him. Ghost Boys by Jewel Parker Rhodes. Next up, we are going to take a look at a book where things are a bit more supernatural even than in this one. Imagine a world where the American Civil War came to an abrupt end because of a zombie virus outbreak. That's just what happens in Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. You see, at the Battle of Gettysburg, it's bloody, lots of people die, but then they stand back up again. Their corpses do. Everything gets put on hold. Now, a decade after this infamous battle, the U.S. government forces Black and Native children to attend combat boarding schools, where they learn how to put down the undead, known as shamblers. Not that shamblers are a problem anymore, not a serious one. Or so certain politicians would have you believe. Teenager Jane McKean is nearly ready to graduate from Miss Preston's Combat Training Academy. She's mouthy, but she's very good with a scythe, and she's looking forward to being able to use her skills in the field. Then, a friend asks her to look into the sudden disappearance of his little sister. Her efforts will take her to a dangerous cult colony. But in order to survive the viciously racist authorities there, Jane is going to need to learn how to bite her tongue, and she's going to need to find allies. And soon. Because in Summerland, the only thing more dangerous than the shamblers outside the colony's walls are the people within. Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. Next up, we will be going to another alternate history, still in the United States, but we are going to travel forward in time to the 1920s, and in physical location to New York City. Evie O'Neill has been exiled from her boring old hometown in rural Ohio, and instead been shipped off to the bustling streets of New York City. Good riddance. She's ecstatic at this taste of freedom. It's 1926, and New York is filled with speakeasies, Ziegfeld girls, and rakish pickpockets. The only catch is that she has to live with her Uncle Will and his unhealthy obsession with the occult. Evie worries her uncle will discover her darkest secret, a supernatural power that has only ever brought her trouble. But when the police find a murdered girl branded with a cryptic symbol and Will is called to the scene, Evie realizes her gift could help her catch a serial killer. As Evie jumps headlong into a dance with a murderer, other stories unfold in the city that never sleeps. She meets a young man named Memphis who is caught between two worlds. A chorus girl, Theta, who is running from her past. a student named Jericho who is hiding a shocking secret. And unknown to all, something dark and evil has awakened. The Diviners by Libba Bray. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.